Welcome back, mi gente. Today we're going to be talking about the splits feature on DistroKid. Let's go. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. Let me give you a brief introduction. For over 5 or 6 years now, I've been a DistroKid user. DistroKid.com being a music distribution site or service that allows artists to upload their music directly to their platform to be distributed to over 150 different digital streaming platforms. Now, the great part about DistroKid, it's got an amazing entry-level price of $19.99 a year. You get to upload unlimited amounts of music, whether it's singles, EPs, albums, and there's a plethora of features that allow you as an artist to market your music, to create content around your music, so on and so forth. One of DistroKid's great features is that it allows you to automate royalty splits. Now, if you worked on a song before and you have a separate producer or a band or somebody that's been involved in the creation of the song, album, EP, before you would have to manually withdraw the funds, calculate what would be the appropriate amount owed to that person, send it to them, and as royalties keep coming in, if there's some sort of contract or agreement in place, you would literally have to manually do all that. Now, as a creative, the best way to get your creative juices flowing is to give yourself time, space, and in a sense, boredom, to give your mind the parameters to be able to create. Now, this is very difficult if you are stuck doing very manual tasks, very mundane tasks, very routine tasks. So the fact that DistroKid automated this process for artists is huge. Now, let me quickly hop onto my laptop here and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, we're currently on the DistroKid user interface. If you are not already a DistroKid user, feel free to take advantage of my VIP link, which gives you an additional 7% off. Again, plans start at $19.99 a year. DistroKid.com/VIP/Nico Santana. Once you have your account set up and you've began uploading music, this is generally how it's going to be looking. There's a couple differences, obviously very notable differences here. Your music will look different. The amount of uploads will look different, but generally, all in all, the top menu bar here is going to be the same. At the time of the recording, it would be the same as mine. Now, for the splits feature, there's a little tab here. It says split, so it gives you a little bit of information on what the splits feature is. So automatically route any percentage of earnings from any track to anyone, add collaborators like producers, bandmates, managers, and more. DistroKid takes the opportunity to pay them directly, so you don't have to think about it. It's actually included in your DistroKid plan, so you don't have to pay extra for this feature. There's no commission, and then you get to edit the percentages, the splits at any time. It's super easy to set up, and I'm actually going to show you how to do that here. On this end, if you are the one setting up the splits, you would select the release that's already been uploaded. So let's say I want to create a split for this song. You would click next, and it's going to take you here. Now, I already have a split set up with my producer. It's a 50-50 split. So as you can see, his email is listed here, and then the revenue share is here. If I wanted to add another collaborator, I would do so here by clicking add collaborator. If I have not collaborated with that individual before, I would have to enter their new email address. Otherwise, if it's someone that I've already collaborated with and set up a split before, I can actually drop down and select their email from the database. There's a thing called recoupments, as you could see here, and recoupments are slightly different than the general split. If for whatever reason you have an expense that needs to be paid first, say you've agreed to pay a few $100s or whatever the amount is for a beat, and you want to pay the producer first before you start collecting revenue, well, you can do recoupments. So once you click recoupments, the first recoup, you would have to actually put in the number, the dollar amount, or whatever the equivalent of your currency is for that person to be fully recouped. You could do multiple recoupments, meaning that multiple people can be recouped first. And then once that recoupment is completed, meaning that the dollar or currency amount has been reached, then the automation will begin, meaning that people will start to get an appropriate distribution based on what you've agreed upon to be able to split those royalties accordingly. Now, if you don't want that, don't worry. You can go ahead and click remove recoupments. What happens next? Once you've clicked review changes and it submits, that individual will receive a code to the email address indicated here. If they don't have a DistroKid account, they can actually get a DistroKid account either using my VIP link, or DistroKid will send them an email and they'll also get access to DistroKid at a discounted rate as well. Once they sign up, it's pretty simple. They would have to go to the splits option here on the menu bar and click on got an invite code. That code would have been emailed to them. You would get a email similar to this. DistroKid would send you an email, so make sure to have them check spam if they haven't received it. And in a little yellow box here is where the code will be. So you would have to copy and paste, and then you would add the code here and then join splits. Now, typically once the code has been added, there would be a screen that would show you how much you're receiving and what other splits you've been added to in the past. You can also see that function here after you've reviewed your releases, your own personal releases. At the bottom, you'll have a splits section and it'll show you exactly what songs you've been added to in terms of the splits function and how much you're receiving per song. All right, guys, so that is the splits/recoupments function on distrokid.com. Now, if you have any questions or any technical questions specifically, DistroKid does have 2 areas where you can research this information out or receive direct support. I would highly recommend, as a user, get acquainted with both of these. The first one is the frequently asked questions, which can be found at the bottom page of your DistroKid user interface. You click that, and chances are the question that you have has already been asked and answered. This is DistroKid's Google, so make sure to check out DistroKid's help center. If for whatever reason you have a very specific question that has not yet been answered, go ahead and go to the support center and submit a request. Now, a lot of the times, if the question has been answered, an artist relations manager on the other end will send you the article that basically word for word that already answers your question. So again, you have to do your research first and then submit a request if absolutely necessary. The DIY Artist Podcast delves into the journey of a DIY artist through various interviews. I've interviewed a ton of people now, and I'm excited to continue this project. Every other week, I upload a brand new episode to the DIY Artist Podcast channel, and of course, distribute the podcast wherever you like to listen to your podcast. So make sure to check that out. And if you're not already a part of the DIY artist community, I invite you to join patreon.com/nicosantana. Click on the DIY artist tier. There are limited spots available for the current price point of $7 a month. You get access to a lot more resources than this: tutorials, behind the scenes stuff, pre-releases on the DIY Artist Podcast, uncut, unedited versions of those episodes, and then of course direct access to me if you have a specific question, if you have a video request. In fact, this video came out of the Patreon community. Specific request was made and I have now made that video. Much love, guys, and hasta la próxima. Peace.